JBN, we keep you informed. I am Michelle Jones, and in the news, woman and a child injured during altercation between taxi operator and police. A 36-year-old woman and her 3-year-old son have been hospitalized following an altercation involving a taxi operator and the police in Montego Bay, St. James on Sunday. The taxi operator is in hospital under police guard after being shot. He was injured after allegedly pulling a gun on the police. The incident occurred about 4 p.m. on Sunday on St. James Street. It was reported that the police intercepted a vehicle driven by the suspect. He was instructed by the cops to exit the vehicle, but reportedly refused. The woman and her son, who were passengers in the taxi, were attempting to exit the vehicle when the driver sped off. The woman was dragged and thrown from the moving vehicle. Her son was dragged for about 50 meters before he fell from the vehicle. It's reported that the police then fired on the driver after he pulled a gun on them. The vehicle, which had blood stains, was later found abandoned. The driver later turned up at the hospital with a bullet wound. 21-year-old recalls brave act, saving 2 lives, which earned him national honor. On April 20 this year, Jon-Andrew Bryan had just returned from the skate park and climbed onto the roof of his Portland home to watch firefighters battle a wildfire that was consuming the hills. About half an hour later, I hear a scream. When I look up at my friend's house, I see fire on the steps, he recounted. The 21-year-old said that initially he thought the children were being reprimanded. The brother of the little boys tried to lighten Brian's worry as he was convinced that the children were playing. But having seen the fire, he immediately went to investigate. When Brian arrived, half the house was engulfed in flames. Me climb over the railing and get inside, but me couldn't see anything. When I bend down low under the smoke, me see the baby them foot. So me try hold one of them foot, and it's like something burst and burned me, he said, recalling the heroic act that earned him a badge of honor for gallantry yesterday. Although he was wearing just shorts and slippers and the ceiling was imploding, Brian was determined to go back in, trying his best to remain calm. Me go back in and try hold it to them foot. Only one of them me hold first, and me carry him and put him over the railing on the veranda, and me try go back, find the other one and put him outside, said Brian. I was just trying not to panic. Yesterday, he was awarded for his act of courage and bravery in saving 5-year-old Kevoy Panton and the 6-year-old Jamali Welsh from the raging inferno. Before getting national recognition, the gallant young man was saluted by friends and community members for doing what many would have been fearful to even contemplate. I'm very thankful and appreciative. If it wasn't for him, I would have lost my brother and my nephew, said his friend Kevoy Panton, who describes Brian as a hero. No one is going to see a fire and run towards it. Most people just take out their phones and start videoing. However, Brian disclosed that the incident has left him traumatized. Even after receiving medical care, he continued to cry because of the scene and how it happened. It's my friend's house. To know someone who lost so much and has nowhere to live, that's a bad feeling, he said. To be honest, I try not to remember it. It brings back bad feelings to me. An elderly man was in the house too, but I didn't see him. I didn't even know how he came out. The College of Agriculture, Science and Education student said that besides the trauma, he felt great to know that he was being honored for his act of bravery, adding that his parents were very proud of him. His only disappointment was that this year's ceremony did not take its usual format. For him to be presented with the honor amid pomp and ceremony at King's House because of the COVID-19 pandemic. It would have been better if it was normal as always, but I just have to work with what it is now, said Brian. Dispute at corner shop over $100 debt gets deadly. David Reed, a jovial tailor who loved his rum, died a terrible death last Friday after he was boxed to the ground, allegedly by a teenager who was engaged in an argument with a shopkeeper in Pisgah, a community located some 30 minutes from Newmarket in St. Elizabeth. Reed, 68, who is known as Bull, reportedly intervened in a dispute between the teenager and the shopkeeper, who was trying to get the youngster to pay her $100 for a bottled water he had purchased. According to the Newmarket police, the teenager told the shopkeeper that he had already paid the money to her nephew, but the elderly woman demanded that she wanted her payment. Reed, who was reportedly under the influence of alcohol, intervened and instructed the teenage boy to pay his bill. It is alleged that the furious youngster hurled a bottle at the now deceased. The missile missed his mark. It is further alleged that the youngster approached Reed and shouted at him to keep out of his business. He reportedly then landed a vicious box to the face of Reed, who fell to the ground and hit his head on the pavement. He died on the spot. Reed's elder brother, Abraham, was with his brother when the incident occurred. Mr. Me and Bull stand up outside the shop, and even when they look for Sagwan, me stand up and talk to some other man. Me shock as me turn me back. The boy boxed on my brother, Abraham said. Until now, me can't believe what really took place, Abraham said as he sat on his brother's veranda in disbelief. Bull no trouble people. Him look at tailoring and drink him rum. If him tell the boy if he pay the woman for the water, him not fi box him for that. All him should do a pay him bill and cool himself. Reed's younger brother Nehemiah, who operates a cook shop in the community, said that just minutes before the incident, his brother stopped by his shop and informed him that he would sew some buttons on the pants for him the following day. My brother was a jovial person. Him have him 3 children who him love and is a man who love him rum bad. Deputy Superintendent Leroy Minot said that the youngster is in custody but has not been charged. The matter has been investigated. What will happen is we will record statements from witnesses and submit a file to the clerk of the court of the parish for ruling, he said. COVID-positive Portland councillor dies. The Portland Municipal Corporation has been plunged into mourning following the passing of Irvin Brown, the councillor for the Fellowship Division in Portland Eastern. Brown, 61, passed away this morning in the intensive care unit at the University Hospital of the West Indies, where he was hospitalized for over 3 weeks. He had tested positive for COVID-19. He was being sustained on a ventilator, disclosed Paul Thompson, mayor of Port Antonio and a close friend of the deceased. I visited him at hospital about a week ago and he was unresponsive. The nurse tried repeatedly to get him to respond, but it was unsuccessful. It is a sad period for all of us at the Portland Municipal Corporation, and despite his adverse situation, we were all hoping that he would pull through. I was quite shocked to know that he was so sick. He was a committed councillor who wanted the best for his division, Thompson said. Brown was first admitted at the Port Antonio Hospital following the September 3 general elections, after he was reportedly diagnosed with COVID-19. His condition reportedly worsened and he was transferred to the St. Anne's Bay Hospital, then to Kingston. The councillor, who won on a Jamaica Labour Party JLP ticket in 2016, reportedly had comorbidities. Meanwhile, Member of Parliament for Portland Eastern, Anne-Marie Vaz, said that she is devastated by Brown's passing. In a statement, Vaz stated that she shared a close relationship and a deep love for Brown, who she said was truly committed to improving the lives of residents. Brown defeated veteran councillor and former mayor Benny White in the 2016 local government elections. The passing now leaves a vacancy in the Fellowship Division, which is expected to be filled in short order ahead of the much-anticipated local government elections. Partygoers attacked police in St. Anne again. For the second time within a month, the St. Anne police have come under attack by residents after attempting to bring an end to an entertainment event in breach of the curfew last Saturday night in retirement district Brownstown. Following complaints from residents of noise coming from a party in the community, the police went to the area sometime after 10 o'clock and ordered that the event be halted. It is reported that patrons objected, saying the event was a 9 night. When the police outlined the various breaches being committed under the Disaster Risk Management Act and insisted that the event be brought to an end, several persons became verbally abusive. They later began throwing stones and bottles at the police team, which had to take evasive action. The police had to fire warning shots to disperse the crowd. No one was hurt during the incident and no arrests were made. However, Superintendent Carlos Russell, who heads the St. Anne Police Division, said some of the assailants were known and would be apprehended and brought before the courts. He condemned the attacks on the police, vowing that such actions would not deter the police in their quest to maintain law and order. "We will not stand by and allow this to happen. The police will continue to enforce the law, and these persons who attack the police will not go unpunished. These persons will be caught and arrested, and they will be brought to justice," Russell said. On September 20, a similar incident occurred in Parrytown near Ocheras after police brought an end to another event in breach of the regulations. In that incident, a police pickup was damaged as several outraged patrons pelted it with stones, smashing the windscreen and the several windows. One person, the party promoter, was arrested in that incident. 53 new COVID-19 cases, 1 death. Jamaica has recorded 53 new cases of the novel coronavirus and 1 virus-related death in the last 24 hours. The Ministry of Health and Wellness said the new case consists of 28 males and 25 females, with ages ranging from 1 year to 90 years. The country's total confirmed COVID-19 cases now stand at 8,374, of which 4,085 are active. Of the new cases, 14 are from St. James, 9 are from Kingston and St. Andrew, 8 are from St. Mary, 7 are from St. Anne, 4 each are from Portland, St. Catherine and Westmoreland, and 1 each are from Hanover, St. Thomas and Trelawney. All of the new cases are under investigation. Meanwhile, the ministry said the recent death is that of an 85-year-old male from St. Anne. This brings the island's death toll to 174. The ministry also reported that 51 more patients have recovered from the virus. This brings the country's total recoveries to 4,002. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.